With Series 14 of Doctor Who and Ncuti Gatwa's eventual takeover of the role of the Doctor on the horizon, I thought it best to discuss some potential concepts for future Doctor Who stories. So, let's talk about that. So at the start of the year, I compiled a list of Doctor Who concept stories on a Reddit post. There were a number of different thematic stories and ideas that I had, but I thought it best if I finally bring it to a video format and explain the ones I really want to see Doctor Who explore. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. Ancient Maya is one of the most interesting settings I think Doctor Who could explore. With its vast traditions and expansive cultures, the pre-Columbian Yucatan civilization could really diversify the general slew of content that we get from Doctor Who. In my Reddit post, I titled this episode idea The Mayan Code. Leaving the story open to the brainstorming nature of the rest of the Doctor Who community, I simply said that it would be cool for the Spanish conquistadors to play a sort of role in it, and for the Mayan calendar to come into play, and there to be some sort of doomsday story or apocalypse at play. This in turn means that the story would take place during the Mesoamerican societal collapse during the Spanish invasion of the Americas. This is a period shrouded by cultural sensitivity and very recent history, so it would need to be handled well, but I am sure that the Doctor Who studios, be that the BBC, Bad Wolf or Disney, would be able to do the period justice. I also recently discovered that Dexty Who used my title of the Mayan Code in a Series 14 title sequence, so thank you Dexty, that is really cool, and thank you for the heart in the comment. Like, it's actually really cool to see it. I was taken aback. Perhaps the idea I want to see implemented into Series 14 the most is a little two-parter called 0AD and Recalibration of the Cybermen. It goes a little something like this. After a malfunction in the TARDIS console, the Doctor and insert companion find it's 0 on the calendar. A Messiah has supposedly perished, rumor of a second Legion is growing, and time as it is in limbo. Who was the Messiah? What happened to the date? And what evil is emerging from one of the greatest military powerhouses known to history? The second part, Recalibration of the Cybermen, could also be named Tiberius or the Emperor's New Army or even Pilate. But essentially this two-part story is a Doctor Who take on Jesus' death and the Roman occupation of the Middle East. Doctor Who has a very good way of putting its own spin on religious and other historical contexts as well, so I think that this one could be handled rather well. The idea here is that the Second Legion is a new breed of all-powerful Cybermen. Much like the gold-plated armor of the Cybermasters, these Cybermen are adorned with gold and laurel wreath headdresses, sporting ceremonial red Roman capes or pallium. This new race of Cybermen would then form the cohorts of Emperor Tiberius' Second Legion, and could perhaps act as a sort of Doctor Who explanation for the Roman occupation of the Middle East during the New Testament. However, that is not the main point of this story. Rather, these Cyber Legions would be under the control of the Emperor, or perhaps even the Master in a way, but I would hope we wouldn't get the Master for at least one more series after the whole Chibnall era. Instead, a sort of time dilation caused by Jesus perhaps not dying, and thus the fabric of time and space itself being threatened, and the Doctor being unable to leave will be the main impact of the story. This one is perhaps the simplest of all the concepts that I have. Essentially, the Doctor and companion, I originally had this as a 12th Doctor story, take a detour to the deepest known point on Earth to man, the Mariana Trench. But instead of a relaxing and awe-inspiring pit stop, the uncertain journey quickly becomes a fight for survival as the Doctor and companion find the TARDIS console has been hacked or frozen in a way, possibly by the Sea Devils. There's not much fluff to this final concept story. I just really want Doctor Who to explore the Mariana Trench, and I think it could make for a very interesting setting. And also, I think the Sea Devils ought to make a significant comeback. Legend of the Sea Devils was cool and all, but give these slimy boys the spotlight that they deserve. Thank you for watching this video. I haven't been posting much Doctor Who content recently due to a number of things, but I am back on the grind and we have a lot more content coming your way. So do stay tuned. Please subscribe, like, and comment if you haven't already, and tell me what you think of these concepts down below. Thank you, and as always, Valonzi.